Good morning, friends. We're doing a quick tutorial today. Oh my God. Good morning, friends. Welcome back to my channel. We're doing a tutorial today. Just a very quick little tutorial. I have a sock here that has a German short row heel, and we are going to talk about how I address the corners of the German short row heel here to remove any holes that you may get after completing your German short row heel. Now, this is a method that I use that is super quick, super easy, and can be done after the sock is finished. This sock is already completely done, blocked, everything. I've already addressed the hole in the heel. See, there's nothing there. Nice and smooth. And I have a second sock here that I just finished, so it is not nearly as pretty, but it still has the holes in the corner here. I'll show you. There's a nice big hole in the corner here. So I'm going to show you how I fix that. These are my sock pattern, my first sock pattern release, and I much prefer a short row heel to any other type of heel. I cannot be bothered with a heel flap and gusset, so my patterns include short row heels. So I am making this video to walk you through how I fix the common problem that happens with a short row heel. So let's get to it. This sock is finished, but it is not washed or blocked yet. I do recommend doing this before washing and blocking, although you can do it afterwards. But if you do this before washing and blocking, the blocking process will even out all of your stitches completely. So, like I said, we have this hole here. You can see that dark spot there. That's the hole. And usually I get them on both sides. This one does have a bit of a hole here on this side. Stick my hand in. Though it is not as big as the other side, there is a hole here. So, you know, one day I'll be able to get this whole camera thing figured out. So all you need is your sock with holes in it and your knitting needles, whichever ones you used to knit your socks with. And you can use anything for this, anything that is small and pointy. You can use your darning needle, you can use a DPN that you have lying around, literally anything that has a fairly sharp point. I'm just going to be using one end of the needle that I knitted with because it's handy and convenient. So let's show you here. Let's see if I can zoom in just a little bit more and really get in there on what we're going to be doing here. So for this hole, all I do is basically I take the yarn that is stretched out here around the hole and I disperse it on either side of the stitch. So what I'm gonna do is stick my hand in here so that I'm not catching any of the yarn on the other side of the sock. And I'm going to start by tightening this hole. Now, you can see here, the stitch goes, I start at the top here, at the top of the hole, and then you can follow the yarn around and you can find both legs of this stretched out stitch. So you're going to take one of those legs and you're just going to tug it. Now don't be super aggressive with it or anything, but tug it. And then take the other one and tug it. It doesn't matter which leg you tug. I like to tug both and just see which one closes the hole better, but it really does not matter. So tug your whole stitch here, and then you're going to follow this thread. You can see it coming around to here, and then you're going to pull that. And when you pull that one, that's when the magic really happens. You can see that hole just nicely closed up right there. Now you're going to continue this following the thread around here and tugging, and then around here and tugging, and you're just going to keep tugging, and you're not tugging these very tightly. You want to distribute them. You don't want to carry a long thread, stretched out thread down your sock. So you can see I just carried that extra thread down the heel of the sock here, and after blocking, any unevenness in these stitches will totally go away. And just to make sure that this hole is extra tight, I'm going to do the same thing in the opposite direction of where the hole was. So you can see there's still a little bit of a gap here. I'm going to tug that opposite side of this thread, and then I'm going to follow it around and tug it again. Now this way is a little bit harder to keep track of your stitches because this is a textured sock, but it is great practice in reading your knitting. Just follow that single thread across. I'm pulling this one kind of tight because I'm having a little bit of trouble getting it nice and tight, and these stitches aren't like going anywhere. Like they can handle a little bit of abuse. And I'm just going to keep tugging. Once you get a few stitches away from your hole, the hole doesn't move anymore. So then you can just gently pull your thread along that row until the stitches are all evened out. And the hole is gone. That's how I address that. Now I can flip it over and show you one more time in case you want to see it again, because we have another hole. And I just find this method so much easier than trying to add stitches and remember to decrease them. Like, it's just a quick afterthought kind of fix. So here's my hole here, both legs of the hole stitch. I'm just going to grab one of them and I'm going to tug. And then I'm going to follow this thread around, which is, this one is actually part of the foot here, the actual German short row heels. So I'm going to look very carefully here and make sure I'm getting the right thread. I think it might be this one. It's not. And you know what? That's fine. Aha. I think it's that one. This one, since it was a little bit difficult to find the other side of the thread here, I'm going to make sure to take extra care to tighten it on the next, on the opposite side, this side going into the foot. Because that will fix any inconsistencies here or any stitches I pulled. You can also use this method to ever fix any pulls in your knitting. If you have a stitch that gets caught on something and it pulls it out, this is the exact same method that you would use to fix something like that. So we're going to go the opposite side now. I'm just kind of using my thumb here because you see it stretches back out. I'm pulling this tight and I'm just using my thumb here to kind of hold it. And then I'm going to follow that thread, and once I get the thread a couple of stitches away from the hole will not move, it will not return. So now I'm just going to distribute my yarn. So do whatever you need to do to tighten up that hole with the stitch to begin with, and then address your yarn, your extra loose yarn, after the fact, because that is the easy part. And that's that. Second hole fixed. Now for a German short row heel, I often find that, or for any short row heel really, if you're using a pattern for a short row heel or a German short row heel or any combination of those things, I always find I get a little bit of a gap in here. And this is how I address the gap when I'm using a German short row heel with one color. If I'm doing a contrast heel, I often will just use the tail of the yarn to close up that hole. So, but this is the easiest, most concise way I have found of fixing the holes on a single color short row heel. I hope that was helpful to you. Knit all the socks. Don't let a holy short row heel stop you from living your best sock life. And I'll see y'all next time.